That's pretty cool, but what's the difference between that and this? The difference between a classical and regular guitar is how they're made and the way they're played. Regular acoustic guitars, which are the most common guitars, are played mostly by strumming or picking. Classical guitars are played by finger picking and finger strumming, which is not a technical term. That means that for one guitar maker, it can take up to 4 months to make one guitar. Guitar makers are also known as luthiers. The body of the guitar starts out as thin, flat sheets of wood, and they're bent and cut with precision that is hard to think of. Like, it is crazy. The cutting and bending process takes days to finish. Then the pieces are glued together, not screwed, not like taped. They're glued and set to dry for days at a time before you can add more. And once the body is done, you have to put the neck on the guitar, which is extremely important to get right. Once the guitar is put together, there's a process of polishing and finishing the guitar. This process takes the longest amount of time, almost 100 hours, and there are tens of layers of polish applied to the guitar to strengthen it and make it look nice. This means that for one guitar, it could cost $4,000 to $6,000. The largest Spanish supplier for guitars makes about 35,000 guitars a year, and only about 3,500 of them make it to the US. Making classical guitars is a centuries-old tradition. Typically, they're handcrafted, not manufactured, so you can get the sound that comes out of them, because they really do have a specific kind of overwhelmingly resonating sound. Resonating means like the sound, like the tones will last for a long time. Some trouble that comes with owning one of these guitars is the maintenance. When the weather gets colder, you have to put a humidifier into the guitar to keep the wood from expanding and cracking. In fact, the wood is so sensitive that for the first 15 minutes you play it, you'll have to retune the guitar because your body heat will make it go out of tune from the wood expanding. For some classical guitars, it'll take a couple weeks of playing it for it to sound its best, as the wood from the guitar settles from being played. Modern classical guitar was developed in late 19th century Spain, and the classical guitar was also known as a Spanish guitar, and it's a member of the guitar family used in classical music and other styles. And guitars started out way different than they look now. Some of them had 12 strings. Eventually they got down to 6. They did have 8 at one point. And you can see from these pictures, they looked really weird compared to guitars nowadays. Some of the most famous classical guitarists were Gaspar Sanz, Robert de Vici, and Antonio de Cloyer. There was also a couple of Fernandos. There was Fernando Carulli and Fernando Sor. Now, playing the guitar is not easy. Playing classical guitar is not any easier. A lot of classical music is like college level, freshman year college level is when you first can start learning that kind of stuff, and it only gets more difficult from there. And there's a lot of famous songs that are just extremely difficult, like the Villalobos, the 12 Studies. There's just a lot of great music out there that's very difficult to learn. The song that I'm trying to play right here is one of the Villalobos, and it's really difficult because I was trying to play it from anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and I never got it all the way through. Right here is one of the longest parts of the song, and don't you think it'd be really devastating if you mess it up right at the end? And that's right at the end of the song. Crazy, I know. That's me. Why do I like the classical guitar so much? It's a good question because there's a lot of other guitars out there. There's electric, there's just regular acoustic guitars. But what makes the classical guitar special is just the way that you play it and the culture behind it. It's just the way it's made. It has so many different sounds that you can make. Like, you can really put your own voice into the music that you play. Now, I may not have managed to get through the whole song. I did record the ending. So here's that for you.